All right, so today we are diving into something that has been making a lot of noise online.
Yeah, a lot of buzz around this one.
Dubai and Pakistani workers.
Mm-hmm.
We've all seen the headlines, right?
Yeah.
Dubai kicking out all Pakistanis.
Right.
But those super catchy headlines, they never tell the full story, do they?
It's rare.
So in this deep dive, we are going past the clickbait.
Yeah.
Forget about Dubai kicking out all Pakistanis for a second.
Right.
What is really going on here?
Yeah. What's the real story?
We've got info that says it's a lot more complicated.
Uh-huh.
More interesting, honestly.
Yeah.
And it tells us more about global trends than you might think.
I think that's right.
Go.
Let's just address the rumor head on.
Okay.
Dubai has not issued some kind of blanket ban on Pakistanis.
Okay.
That is just not true.
So no mass deportation orders or anything like that?
Nope.
But things are changing, right?
Yeah, things are definitely shifting.
Our sources are pointing to some visa restrictions. Yeah. Changes to who gets priority when they're giving out visas.
Yeah.
Even deportations in some cases.
You're right.
So what's the deal there?
So this is where it gets really interesting.
Okay.
Dubai, like a lot of these global hubs, they're going through a kind of strategic recalibration.
Okay.
It's like they're trying to attract a very particular kind of worker now.
Okay.
And it's less about construction and more about these really cutting edge sectors.
So less about like who can lay bricks and more about who can like code the next big thing.
Exactly.
Right.
Like artificial intelligence, renewable energy, those fields that are drawing the absolute top talent, from Silicon Valley to Bangalore.
Yeah.
Dubai wants in on that action.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
But our sources also talk about like just the general economic climate right now as playing a role in the decisions that Dubai is making.
Uh-huh.
How does that fit into all of this?
Well, it's all connected.
Okay.
Global uncertainty, oil prices going up and down,
Right.
supply chain issues.
Yeah.
All of that factors into a country's economic plan.
Right.
Especially a country like the UAE that's so globally connected.
Yeah.
Dubai's not immune to that kind of pressure.
And sometimes those pressures, they result in things like tighter immigration policies, stricter visa renewals.
Yeah.
That human cost of economic strategy.
Right.
And our sources really highlight the impact that this has had on individuals and families.
Exactly. And I think it's important to remember, imagine you're a Pakistani construction worker who's been in Dubai for years, building a life.
Right.
And then suddenly your visa is denied.
Wow.
Your whole livelihood is uncertain.
Yeah.
And suddenly the story shifts from mass expulsion to these individual stories of uncertainty and disruption.
Right.
And that's really where the impact is on that human level.
Yeah. Yeah, it's easy to get caught up in those stories, right?
Yeah.
Those human impacts.
Absolutely.
But there's a whole other layer to all of this. We have to talk about the relationship between Pakistan and the UAE.
Right.
It's not like this is brand new. They've known each other for a long time.
I haven't just met.
Exactly.
This goes way back.
Yeah.
We're talking decades of history.
Yeah.
Intertwined.
Millions of Pakistanis, they live and work in the UAE.
Millions.
They contribute to basically every part of the UAE's economy.
Right. Across the board. Yeah.
I mean, we're talking like from those construction projects we were just talking about
Yeah.
to like white collar jobs in finance, tech, healthcare even.
Absolutely. It's everything.
It really is a significant Pakistani thread
Wow.
in the fabric of the UAE.
Right.
And I think that makes the current situation even more complicated,
Yeah.
because it's not just one country making a decision on its own here.
Right.
It's all happening within this network of really deep relationships.
Okay.
And, they rely on each other in a lot of ways.
So we've got the economics kind of pushing in one direction. We've got history pulling things back in another.
Yeah. But then our sources mention like political angles and international relations.
Yeah, you can't forget about that.
Like all very strategic suddenly.
Absolutely. Like a high stakes chess game.
Oh, wow.
Every move Dubai makes on immigration visas, even on attracting certain kinds of talented workers, it all has these ripple effects on its relationships with other countries.
So who else is on the chessboard here?
Well, you've got to consider India.
Of course.
You can't talk about this without talking about India.
Right. A major global power.
Right on their doorstep.
Yeah.
And the UAE has been getting closer to India.
Yeah.
A lot closer.
Okay.
Economically, strategically, you name it.
Makes sense.
So that's a big factor.
Okay.
And then there's Iran.
Right.
Another big player.
And with ties to Pakistan, too.
Exactly. So you see, it's a real balancing act.
Wow.
A delicate one.
It sounds like it.
And it's really important to remember,
Yeah.
we can't make assumptions about anyone's motives here. Our sources are really clear about that.
Gotcha.
But we do need to understand this chessboard
Okay.
to really get what's going on here.
So it's almost like Dubai is trying to walk this tightrope
Yeah.
between their own goals for their economy and all these relationships with other countries.
That's a tough spot to be in.
That's got to be a lot to juggle,
It is.
even for a place like Dubai.
Even for Dubai.
But before we go too far down that road,
Yeah.
let's bring this back down to earth for a second.
Okay.
Why should someone listening to this, someone who might not ever even go to Dubai,
Right.
why should they care about this? It's easy to think, oh, Dubai's halfway across the world.
Right.
Like, their decisions, their policies, they don't affect me over here.
Out of sight, out of mind, right?
But what we're seeing happen in Dubai, with the changes to immigration, with how they're approaching the economy, the whole geopolitical balancing act, those are trends that are happening all over the world.
I think that's right. Dubai is like this microcosm,
Yeah.
this little glimpse into how all these different forces are changing things for everybody.
So even if you never go to Dubai,
Yeah.
what's happening there can still teach you something about how the world works.
Yeah, think about it. Like
Fine.
the rise of automation,
Okay.
how the job market is constantly demanding new skills.
Right.
Those trade deals that end up affecting your local businesses.
Right.
It's all connected.
Wow.
This big web of globalization.
So this whole Dubai situation, it's like this crash course
Yeah.
in how to understand the world in the 21st century.
I think that's a good way to put it.
And our sources really emphasize this one thing,
What's that?
having an informed perspective.
Okay.
Because we're just drowning in information these days.
Oh, absolutely.
And so much of it is,
Yeah.
biased or oversimplified or just completely wrong.
Especially online.
Oh my gosh. I know, right?
It's like 1 minute Dubai's kicking everyone out,
Yeah.
and the next minute it's like everything's fine. Right.
It's like, what are we even supposed to believe?
How do you even begin to figure out what's true anymore?
You've got to think critically.
Okay.
Don't just believe the headlines.
Right.
Do a little digging. Look for different points of view.
Yeah.
Think about who's telling you this stuff.
Kind of like what we've done in this deep dive.
Exactly.
We started with that really attention-grabbing headline.
Dubai kicking out all Pakistanis.
Right, and by actually investigating, by looking a little deeper,
Yeah.
we found something much more complicated,
A lot more nuanced.
way more interesting, honestly.
Probably a lot closer to the truth.
We went from this simple story of like us versus them
Right.
to this really complex web of economics and history and global power dynamics.
It's a lot to take in.
It's a lot more interesting though, right?
Oh, for sure.
But it also means that we have to do more work to understand the world around us.
Absolutely. We can't just passively consume information anymore.
Right.
We have to be active participants.
So the next time you see a headline,
And it seems too simple, too sensational, too good to be true. Remember this conversation.
yeah,
Think about Dubai
that city in the desert.
and remind yourself there's always more to the story than meets the eye.
There's always something going on beneath the surface.
Always.
And, taking the time to figure out what that is, to
Yeah.
embrace the complexity, to look for different perspectives. That's what makes you an informed and engaged citizen of the world.
And on that note, we'll leave you with this.
Okay.
What headlines in your own life
Yeah.
deserve a deep dive?
What are you taking for granted?
What assumptions are you making?
Where are the hidden connections?
The world is full of these fascinating, complicated stories,
It really is.
just waiting for us to explore them.
So keep asking questions. Keep digging deeper.
And keep looking for the truth behind the headlines.
Until next time.